Hello everyone, I'm Finboy Airsoft. In today's video we're going to be talking about attachments. Attachments are super important in a lot of ways. They can just make your day a lot better. They can make your day just a lot easier, keep you from getting so tired, and just give you an overall advantage over your enemies. This is part 2 of a 3-part series that I'm doing. On the last one I did gear, so if you want to go watch that, I'll have in the little box up there. I don't know what you call it, but in the next one we're gonna be talking about guns, and yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, we're gonna be talking about probably the most important one, at least to me. These are slings. Slings are super important because if you're carrying around a 5-10 pound gun for 3-4 hours, then you're gonna get super tired. Having a sling that you can just put around your neck and you don't actually have to carry it, it just hangs there with you. Yeah, they can get, kind of annoying. They can, like, make your neck hurt. So, get ones that are pretty comfortable. This one right here is pretty crappy. But, the one that I have here on my M4 is really good. But one problem with slings is it scratches up the paint on your gun if you use plastic, or if you use metal, like sling clips or whatever. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's starting to scratch up the paint right there. It's not a big deal to me, but to some people that can be a big turn away. But you can get like little plastic ones that don't scratch up your gun quite as much for like $2. So yeah, just get those if you're really that worried about your gun getting scratched up. But slings are super important. They're worth it. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for like $15 for like a decent one. Maybe 20 if you want to get like a pretty high quality one, one that might not hurt your neck as much. And yeah. Alright, so next up we have grips. Grips are super important. This one's kind of crappy. Who cares? They make it to where if you have like rails on your gun and you're just holding your gun by the rails, it's gonna hurt after a while. After like 10 minutes, like, you might start to feel like your hand's just kind of getting cut up a little bit. And it just hurts. So just use a grip because it'll make your hand a lot more comfortable. It'll make it easier to carry your gun. You'll have like more ways to carry it other than just your hand being flat. You can have it in different positions. Keep your wrist from getting super sore, and just keep your hands from getting messed up by the stupid rails. On my M4, I have one that is a 5 position, so it can be straight out, it can be angled, basically flat. I recommend these ones a lot because, depending on where you're at or, how you're feeling that day, you might want like a different position, keep your wrist from getting so sore, keep it from being in one position all day. And there's also some that you can get that go on like the magwell, so you'll hold it right here. But those ones are a little bit harder to find. They're usually more expensive. So I just recommend getting one of these, a little 5 position ambidextrous grip. They're nice. They're pretty cheap. You can probably get them for like $10-15, just like slings. And yeah, they're super important. Definitely get one. Now we have flashlight attachments. They're pretty important. They can be really useful. They're just overall really good because they can give you a big advantage over your enemy. They can help you see in the dark, but also they can kind of like stun your enemy. Obviously, don't just shine it into people's eyes because that's just, inconsiderate. That's just rude. Don't do that. But having something that you can see in the dark without actually having like a hold up a flashlight is really important. You can also just use like a headlamp or something like that. That works as well. But having something on the end of your gun that you can just easily, press a button, turn it on and off, pretty helpful. You can also get like pressure switches, so that way you don't actually have to like turn on the flashlight, reach your hand out and turn it on. You can just like have a little button that you can put on your grip or something like that. But yeah, flashlights are pretty expensive, or not, they're not very expensive. Sorry, I'm just terrible today. But they're not very expensive. They're pretty good. I usually don't run them because I usually play during the daytime. It's a very, very, very rare that I play night games. But if you're gonna be playing in the dark, definitely have one, or just have like a headlamp or something like that. Just some sort of light that won't get annoying to like carry around and stuff. So very important. Next up, we have bayonets. These things are completely pointless. They're just for looks. I have one because I like the look of it. It's completely pointless. Don't poke two people too hard with them, or else it'll hurt. So now we have laser sights. Laser sights are pretty controversial because even though they can help because you can shoot your target. You can know where you're shooting at without actually having to aim down the sights of your gun. A lot of fields have them banned because they can cause a lot of eye damage, and especially people are rude. You can't expect everyone to be super nice, so obviously lasers just they can hurt your eyes. I wouldn't really use them, to be honest, just because you might accidentally shine in someone's eye. It can hurt, and it'll just kind of ruin their day. Even though like shining into their eye can only it won't actually do any long term damage if you only do it for like a couple seconds, but it's still just super inconsiderate, super rude. Don't do it. Just I'd stay away from lasers unless you're like just having fun with your friends in the backyard. But even then, just be super careful with them because they can lead to a lot of damage. And now we have stocks. This is probably the last one. I didn't take it off my gun because I don't really feel like doing that for like a 10-second piece of a video, or like 30 seconds, sorry. But stocks are super important. Get one that's high quality. Obviously, you don't want it like wobbling around all the time on you. They're not super important because obviously airsoft guns don't have recoil, but they can just make it a lot more comfortable to be aiming down, and just take a lot of stress off of your arms, so that way you don't get quite so tired. Most guns come with them, obviously. I wouldn't spend too much money on a new one because, well, there isn't very much difference between all of them. It's just kind of the quality. Don't buy anything super cheap, but I wouldn't really go out of your way to get a stock if you already have one because, well, you're not really going to need it that much, but they're still good to have nonetheless. Alright, so that's basically it for the video. There's a lot of things that I didn't talk about, but this is just supposed to be for beginners. I definitely like to talk about tracer units in like a different video or something, just because they are super important. But obviously, if you're just getting into airsoft, you're probably not going to want to go spend $100 on a tracer unit, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about. If you really want me to go into like depth about anything else, just let me know somewhere, Twitter, Discord, in the comments, doesn't matter. Just let me know. There's a lot of stuff that, is pretty important, but I just didn't cover because beginners probably aren't going to use them. They're not going to be exposed to them quite as much. So, yeah. So, that's basically for the video. So, until next time, I've been Femboy Airsoft. See y'all later.